Hello everyone, welcome to Cktv here on YouTube. Just going to do a different style of video today. Don't often do videos on football, but I decided I'm going to do a World Cup preview show here on the channel Cktv. So I done one for the Euros, and I think I done one about the last World Cup. So I'm going to do one about this World Cup on the station now on the channel. Going to look at the groups. I'm going to give my opinions on who I think deserves to go a long way in this World Cup. I'm going to pull up the groups as we speak and going to talk about each one. Group A has the host Russia, and they are joined by Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Uruguay. So Russia, of course, the host nation, so they didn't have to qualify. Haven't got into many World Cups over the years. They've got into a few, obviously, as the USSR. They're one of the biggest teams in the world, as CIS then in the early 90s. But as Russia, they've only been in a handful of tournaments, really, so they've never really impressed that much on the World Cup stage as Russia. But as the host nation, they could surprise a few people and they could go far. I could see them doing okay in this one. They don't have the likes of Kanchelskis or Salenko or your man Bulyakin, who was on it a while back as well, there in the mid-thousands. But they are perhaps one of the dark horses, maybe, you could say, as a host nation. Saudi Arabia, also in that group, Group A, going to play Russia on the opening day on Thursday, so that'll be interesting. I think Saudi Arabia over the years have proven to be an indomitable force in Africa. Not in Africa, in Asia, as a Middle Eastern team and as one of the top dogs in Asia and Asian football, the Asian qualifying system. Definitely not up to the standard of world football and the World Cup. Like, you look back on that famous goal from 1994 when your man, I forget his name, but he took on the whole pitch against Belgium and scored an amazing goal against Belgium in that first round of the World Cup in '94 in the USA. Saudi Arabia ended up going to the second round, that World Cup getting put out by Sweden, but Saudi Arabia definitely not. Remember, they got beat 8-0 by Germany in 2002 World Cup, which was actually in Ireland's group. Ireland beat them 3-0, I remember. Wouldn't call Saudi Arabia a major team. They were one of the poorest teams in the World Cup in 2002. I remember I think the worst team in the group in that World Cup. They were a surprise package in '94. They didn't get into a few World Cups, but they've been pretty consistent getting into World Cups, I suppose, when you think about it. But they definitely are worlds apart from the big guns. You know what I mean? I think they'll be exiting in the first round. As far as Egypt goes, one of the top African teams. They were African champions a few times over the last 10 years. They've gotten Mo Salah, who is the top dog for Liverpool these days. Of course, he got injured in the Champions League final, but which was a serious, horrible tackle, by the way. But Mo Salah for Egypt could be the deciding factor there for them. I think you could see Egypt definitely coming out of the group. Can't see them getting too far, but they definitely were in Ireland's group in 1990. You may recall, if you're a long-time football fan, and Ireland drew 0-0 with Egypt in the first round of that one, but that's years ago. But Egypt definitely are a top dog as far as African teams goes. But as far as world teams, I think they are still worlds apart from the major guns as far as this World Cup goes. Could see them fighting to get out of the group along with Uruguay. Uruguay, the South American representative in this group, and Uruguay are awesome. An awesome team, featuring, of course, the Barcelona striker Suarez. Of course, he was known as Dracula when he was with Liverpool. He was biting a few people in that, but Suarez is definitely a big factor for Uruguay. A few other big deals for Uruguay as well. So yeah, Uruguay will be a favourite to go through along with I would say either Egypt or Russia. One of them or two of them three teams I would imagine go through. Saudi Arabia will probably go home. If I have to pick two teams now, I'm going to say I'm sorry, Russia, but probably go out in the first round, and Egypt and Uruguay may go through. So that's Group A. Group B sees Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo and co. Spain, of course, so many big names for Spain. Such a formidable force. They were the big team back in 2010 when they won the World Cup. They won the Euros in 2008 and 2012. 3 big tournaments in a row, which was awesome. Spain definitely they were for years, they were the team that never were the underachievers in world football, and then all of a sudden they won 3 big tournaments in a row. Everybody thinks Spain's one of the giants now. I think Spain can go a long way in this World Cup. They start their campaign against Portugal, the big game next Saturday. That should be very good. Morocco and Iran, the other 2 teams in this group, I think it's, unless there's a big surprise. Remember, there was nothing but shocks back in 2002 in the World Cup in Japan and Korea, and all the underdogs seemed to go through, but definitely Morocco, I wouldn't say as the African representatives, another North African team. Definitely Morocco I wouldn't see going through. Iran, one of the Asian teams being represented, and also a Middle Eastern team, much like Saudi Arabia was in with Egypt, and a Middle East and North African team very close together. Not very close in terms of geography, like Ireland close, but very close as far as the world goes. So you've got Morocco and Iran kind of are neighboring. Well, they're not neighboring, but they're definitely in that kind of melting pot of Middle East, North Africa kind of thing. Maybe I'm just talking crap here, but definitely I think Morocco and Iran will go out on Group B. I think Portugal and Spain, too strong. They will go through the Iberian Peninsula. Okay, Group C sees France, the Les Bleus, featuring some great stars. You've got Giroud, you've got the likes of your man. I don't think Benzema's played that much these days, but so many big names for France. I won't be able to remember a lot of them at this stage, but definitely some big names for the French who will probably do some good stuff in the World Cup, I would imagine. Payet was very good in the last big tournament in the Euros. I could see France definitely getting places. A lot of people actually fancy them as favourites. A lot of, it's mixed. Australia are in this group. Peru and Denmark also in the group. Denmark put Ireland out, remember, 5-1 in that terrible game for the Irish point of view. Peru, good friends of mine actually are supporting Peru in this one because one of them's from Peru. I think David Harkin out there might remember this. Me and him and his other friend and our other friend done a video for the 2014 World Cup. We done a little preview show about that, and I remember us talking about. But I remember chatting to David recently, and his wife is from Peru, and we were chatting about Peru and that being in the World Cup. And they're in a pretty good group. As a South American team, they are very strong. I could see them maybe joining France in the second round. Maybe Denmark will challenge them. Australia have been a dark horse in the past in these tournaments. You just never know. It is a kind of a group of death, you could say. It doesn't look like it on paper, but I think when these guys all get together and there is a match, when the matches are played, I think this one could be a group of death. I'm going to go for France and Peru to come out of that one, I would say. Group D. Group D sees Argentina, Iceland, Croatia, and Nigeria. So, Nigeria are, I don't know much about the new crop of players, but when you think back to 94, the likes of Yekini and Okocha, when you think to the 98-2002 Nigeria, when you had Okocha and the likes of so many big teams like Kanu and So many big names for Nigeria back then. You look at Nigeria as being a force and a team that could maybe come back now and make a racket on the big stage again. But who knows what could happen with Nigeria? Nigeria are the African champions. Don't forget, they're the latest African champions. So you just never know. You've got Croatia, who are like, they're not the Croatia of '98 with Davor Suker and the likes of Bilic, Slaven Bilic, and all these guys, Boban, and all these Balaban, all these guys who were big names and a big deal when they came fourth in the World Cup in '98 in France. But they're going up against Iceland, who made a massive impact in 2016 in the Euros. You know, they've got that clap thing going on, the Viking clap, and they're an intimidating force in football now, putting England out of the Euros, remember. They crashed out to France then, but they are a formidable force as far as being an underdog. And, you know, underdogs in football, you never can take them too lightly. I could see a little surprise in this group. Argentina, I'm hoping, as a fan of good football and someone that really likes Lionel Messi. I think Messi is a legend, and I do think Messi is better than Ronaldo. A lot of people argue who's better, Ronaldo or Messi. I do think Messi has been better than Ronaldo a long time. And Maradona had his crowning moment for Argentina back in 1986. And then, of course, got to the final with them in 1990, and they went out to West Germany in the final that year. And then in '94, USA '94, of course, Maradona, the whole drug scandal and stuff, after scoring a couple of good goals in the '94 World Cup first round, and against, I think it was against Greece and Nigeria, was it? But I think Argentina definitely. This year, with Messi, I think they deserve something out of it, and I think they will get it. I think Argentina, as a fan of Argentina, I like Argentina over the years, and I think they can win the World Cup this time. They're my favourites for it. Belgium are a dark horse for me. I think they can do something this year as well. Belgium could maybe be the Holland of '98 in this one, I think. But I think Argentina is going to win the World Cup. That's my thought on it. And I think second place in this group will go to, I think we're going to see a surprise. I think Iceland are going to make a scene on the World Cup stage this time, and Iceland will come second to Argentina in Group D. My thoughts on Group E features Brazil, Switzerland, Costa Rica, and Serbia. And looking at the run-up to the World Cup, I just seen Brazil beat Austria 3-0 there in a friendly. And I just seen Costa Rica lose to Belgium 4-1 in a friendly and lose to England 2-0. Haven't seen Serbia in any friendlies or Switzerland, but definitely I think Switzerland are always when they're in a World Cup, they always try and make an effort. They always seem to be great in qualifying. When they get to a World Cup, they're maybe get to the second round and then get put out. I think Switzerland they could do something in this one. Costa Rica, always they're there and they're good in the qualifying. The CONCACAF, it's not a very hard group to come out of because you've got the USA and maybe the odd time Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago will put up a fight, but it was USA, Costa Rica, and Panama that went through from the CONCACAF this time. And I think Costa Rica are looking pretty strong this time out. You never know what could happen there. There's no Paulo Wanchop this time. Remember him. But yeah, I think Costa Rica could put up a fight in this one. Maybe Serbia. Serbia were in Ireland's qualifying group, don't forget. And Serbia actually won Ireland's group, and done very well. Remember, Serbia are part of the former Yugoslavia, and I wouldn't call them a dark horse in this. I'd think they would be one of the big guns from Europe in this tournament. I could see Brazil and Serbia going through from Group E. That's what I think. Group F in the World Cup, the first round, Germany. Listen to this group. This is a star-studded group, and I think this is one of the groups of death. Germany, Mexico, Sweden, and South Korea. So you have Germany, who are lately they have been unbeatable. They have been a reckless force, and I think Germany can do a lot in this World Cup. I can see Germany winning the group, definitely. I can see Germany winning the World Cup, but I hope they don't, because I want to see Messi and Argentina get one. But I look at Germany as a big force, and I think they're going to win this group. I think second place is down to either Mexico or Korea or Sweden. Any of them can win. I think Mexico, as the Central American legends, always top dogs in Central America. USA didn't go through this year to the World Cup. Big surprise, because they always get through from the CONCACAF. Mexico are a very underachieving team when it comes to the actual World Cup finals. I would like to see Mexico go a long way. Remember Georgie Campos, the little colourful goalkeeper? He was great. He was a fun spectacle in these World Cups from back in the day. I remember you like the likes of Luis Garcia and Hernandez and all these guys, and Mexico are definitely and the newest team it looks good as well. So I would say you can see Mexico maybe getting second place in this group. Sweden, talk of Ibrahimovic joining Sweden again in the World Cup. Who knows what could happen there? He's getting old, but he can still do it. He's still got a massive head on him. So he's when he's got that ego, and that really comes through as well sometimes. When you've got an ego, you have to put extra pressure on yourself to do things. So I think Ibrahimovic and Sweden could go far in this one too. So I'm going to pick Germany and Mexico to go through, but there's going to be a fight from Sweden and Korea, I would say. Okay, Group G. And this is the group that England's in, Group G. And they're joined by Tunisia, who are their first opponents on Monday night. They're joined by Panama, the minnows of the World Cup, I think. Them and Iceland are the two small teams in this World Cup. Panama, who are the surprise winners, or the surprise qualifiers from Central and North America, like CONCACAF. And then you have Belgium, who are my dark horses for this World Cup. I think they're going to do big things. I would love to see them get maybe a third place or second place in this World Cup. Who knows? Who knows what can happen? I think Belgium's team now, with so many big names like Lukaku and the likes of, you've got De Bruyne, you've got your man, what do you call him, plays for United, Fellaini, and you've got so many big deals for Belgium now. You've got Courtois in goal, the Chelsea keeper. I think Belgium will do big things for this World Cup, and I think they're definitely going to win this group, beat England. I think Panama and Tunisia will lose out to England. I think England will come second, but I think Belgium can win the group. And by the way, I think England will actually get to the quarters. I think England can get to the quarters. Their roadway there isn't too bad, so I think we could see England getting to the quarterfinals. Okay, Group H, the final group. Poland, Senegal, Colombia, and Japan. So this one is very interesting, folks. 4 teams that you wouldn't really rate as top dogs, but Poland are definitely a dark horse. They always do something when they get to these World Cup finals and Euro finals. So if they get to them, don't always get to them, but when they do. They're always excellent in qualifying. That's one thing about Poland. And like so many of these teams, especially the Europeans, when they get so good in qualifying, and then when they go to the world stage and they have to go against the South Americans and stuff, they end up crumbling. But I think Poland have a nice little group here to go against. All teams in this group, I think, are pretty equal. They could do anything against each other. Senegal, very good team, very good African team. Remember them back in 2002, beating France 1-0 in the first round? That was something. Remember they had Diouf and Diop and Mendy and all these guys in that team. And I remember your man in goal as well. Tony something, wasn't it? He was a good keeper. But Senegal are they could be another dark horse in this one. They could be back. Senegal could be back. Colombia, remember Valderrama, the big hair, big blonde? That was fun. He was a big deal for Colombia back in 90 and 94, I remember. I think he even was in the 98 team that were in England's group. Colombia could be a challenge this year as a South American qualifier. You just never know what they're going to do. Japan are always up for a fight in these World Cups. I think as hosts back in 2002, they got to the second round, I remember. But I think they definitely got getting put out by Turkey in that one. But I think Japan have a chance. There's no more Nakata. There's no more. I don't know if Nakamura is still playing for them. He's probably not. Still a few probably good players for them. There used to be a good player called Mori played for them, and your man Honda. There's a few of them there over the years, but I'm not sure about the current crop. But I think they'd probably do stuff in this one. I can see Poland winning the group, and I can see Colombia being second realistically. That's just my thoughts on the groups, folks. Can see England probably getting to the quarterfinals. I can see it being maybe a bit between definitely Argentina to win it. Messi, I think, will pull through and get that Maradona status. Ronaldo and Portugal, maybe Portugal will fancy themselves this time, saying they won the Euros against France in the final, remember. It's going to be interesting. Pity Ireland aren't in it, but sure, that was unfortunate to see them go out. They crashed out against Denmark in that terrible display in the playoffs, but it's interesting the way it all transpires in football. Wales, of course, such an impressive Euros, getting to the semi-finals of the Euros, and that ended up being unfortunate for the Welsh, but yeah, that's the way it goes. Not getting then, of course, that ended up being a big tournament for the Welsh back in the Euros in 2016, but then they didn't get to the World Cup because Ireland put them out in the in the group stage. But and then Scotland, of course, got put out in the playoffs also, and then England, of course, are through. Northern Ireland I think they got to the playoffs as well, but got put out in the playoffs as well. That's right. They were put out in the playoffs. Also, I think it was against Switzerland, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right. But I think absolutely Germany, Brazil, Spain, Portugal, Argentina. I think it's between them 4 or 5, maybe France, probably between them 6. And anything can happen. It's wide open, folks. You could see Denmark do what they done back in 1992. Who knows? They could go and win. Or maybe, just maybe, you could see the likes of Italy or Holland. No, actually, Italy and Holland aren't in it. That's something to think about. Italy and Holland aren't in this World Cup. Imagine that. That is a surprise. When you think about it. Imagine. Argentina, when you look at it, Argentina nearly weren't in it. They had to go to a last game qualifier against Ecuador to put themselves through. That was imagine they weren't. Imagine they didn't go through. Happened to Brazil a while back. They nearly didn't get through the World Cup not so long ago. And when you think about, remember Korea got to the semis back in 2002. Who'd have thought that would have happened? But then again, Korea, there was a lot of dodginess with that one, wasn't there? But yes, it's going to be a top World Cup. I think of Belgium's current crop as being very like the Holland of 1998. That real super team that came together, and they are next door neighbours to Holland and stuff. And I was a local Dutch guy, actually, a guy that lives here in Ireland from Holland. I was taking a hand at him about Holland not being in it, and I asked him who's he going for Belgium, and he wasn't too happy. I don't. The Dutch sense of humour, But also, let's have a look now back over these groups. I think, Brazil have a very good side coming through now. They're looking like they can. Remember, they crashed out 7-1 to Germany back in 2014, and they're in the semi-final to Germany. It was their They were in the semi-final in their home nation, of course, in the World Cup in 2014, and they lost to Germany. That was interesting. Imagine 7-1. That was an embarrassment, really, for a Brazil team. But they're looking good now. They've Coutinho, you've got Firmino, they've got the indomitable Neymar up front, of course, as well. Who knows what's going to happen in the World Cup finals, folks, and it's going to be fun. Starts on this Thursday, so hope you enjoyed my preview, and I've enjoyed bringing it to you. So for now, and by the way, who knows, we could have a repeat of 66 and England win. Second thoughts, God forbid. Who knows? I have no resentment towards England, but we'd never hear the end of it if that happened, but who knows what will happen. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to enjoy a few cold ones watching the World Cup over the next few weeks, and let's go Messi, Argentina, and let's hope Belgium do good as well. That's my thoughts on it. Yoster over! And out.